Hola, ¿eres un profesional inteligente, exitoso en tu carrera, pero sientes que tu pronunciación en inglés te frena? ¿Te dedicas tiempo, quizás incluso años? ¿Sientes que no avanzas como deberías? ¿Que todavía no te entienden a la primera? No estás solo, y no es falta de inteligencia o esfuerzo. It's usually because you're falling into common traps that keep even the smartest people stuck. The good news is, once you see these traps, you can avoid them. Today, I'm revealing the 5 key mindset shifts you need to make. The shift method. It will stop you from wasting years and put you on the fast track to clear, confident English pronunciation. Okay, let's dive into the first crucial shift, S, which stands for specify. What's one of the biggest mistakes I see smart professionals make year after year? They try to work on their pronunciation as this one big general thing, but they don't make any progress. Why not? Because you can't fix everything at once. When you don't specify your actual problem areas, the sounds and patterns that are causing you to be misunderstood, you end up wasting so much time. This lack of focus is why so many people feel overwhelmed, frustrated, and like they're stuck, not making real progress despite spending all that time practicing. The shift you need to make is moving from having this vague problem, I want to improve my pronunciation, to having a clear, specific plan. What if you knew the exact 2 or 3 sounds or patterns that are causing 80% of your problems? You can make more progress in a few weeks than you have in months. This isn't just theory. Identifying these high impact areas is the very first step I take with all my private coaching clients. But not everyone has time for private classes. So I developed an AI-powered free pronunciation evaluation built just for Spanish speakers. In just a few minutes, you record yourself and our specialized AI analyzes your speech, identifying your key challenge areas. It transforms that vague feeling of I need to improve into a clear roadmap for improvement. Okay, these are the sounds I need to focus on first. It takes you from problem to plan and makes life so much easier. So if you want your free pronunciation evaluation, check the link in the description now. Next up is H, which stands for here. Let me tell you a story I see play out constantly with my new students. They'll be having trouble pronouncing a sound, maybe like the vowels in sit versus seat. The very first thing I ask them is, can you hear the difference between these 2 sounds? And they usually pause, think for a minute, and then say, I don't know. Well, if you can't hear the difference, it's going to be incredibly frustrating trying to pronounce the difference. But let's pause for a minute and ask, why does this even happen? Why can native speakers hear it, but you can't? Well, think about Spanish. You grew up hearing one clear E vowel sound, right? Like in si, mi. English, however, has 2 distinct sounds in that area. The long E as in seat, and the short I as in sit. Because the short I doesn't exist in Spanish, your brain, being super efficient, just maps both English sounds onto the one Spanish E sound it already knows. It has no reason to distinguish between them because it's just never needed to before. But I've got great news. This is totally fixable. Your brain is incredibly adaptable. And with the right kind of focused listening practice, specifically designed to highlight these subtle differences that Spanish speakers often miss, you can train your ear surprisingly quickly. I've seen students go from hearing absolutely no difference between sounds like sit and seat to hearing them clearly in just a few days, correct pronunciation following shortly after. So the shift here is crucial. If you want to make fast progress, you should train your ear first. Prioritize hearing the difference before you obsess over pronouncing it. Once you can hear the difference reliably, then learning to pronounce it becomes infinitely easier because when you say it wrong, you'll be able to hear that difference and then you'll be able to fix it. Okay, so next up, I want to tell you something surprising. You have a superpower that could transform your English pronunciation, but you're probably not using it. That superpower is your ability to imitate. Imitation, like language, is deeply human and we can all do it. The problem is, as adults, we stop imitating and start thinking about the words. What happens when you see an English word like hello and read it? Often your brain instantly translates it into the closest Spanish sounds, maybe something like hello. Why? Because you're letting your Spanish-speaking brain take over based on the letters you see. You're trying to read, not imitate. So you end up applying Spanish sound patterns, rhythm, and melody to English, which sounds unnatural and makes you harder to understand. When you focus on imitation, you bypass the part of the brain that thinks in Spanish and tap directly into the musical part, which lets you replicate what you see and hear. So the shift here is to awaken and unleash that superpower. Give yourself permission to imitate, to be an actor instead of a language learner. Copy exactly what you hear and see, not just the sound, but the mouth movement, expressions, and even gestures. You will unlock this superpower, and I promise you will see a world of difference in your pronunciation. All right, the fourth letter is F for feedback. Now imagine trying to learn darts, but you practice blindfolded. You throw dart after dart, but you have no idea if you're hitting the board, let alone the bullseye. How quickly do you think you'd improve? Not very, but that's exactly what happens when you practice pronunciation without feedback. You might sit there repeating a word like ship, trying to get it right. But are you actually saying ship, or are you accidentally saying sheep over and over again? If you don't know, you might just be reinforcing the mistake and making things worse. Practicing without knowing if you're right or wrong is a huge waste of time, causes slow progress, constant feeling of uncertainty, and can actually make your pronunciation worse by reinforcing bad habits. On top of that, this lack of confirmation crushes your confidence, making you hesitant to say certain words that you're not sure about. So the shift here is simple but powerful. Practice needs confirmation. You need reliable feedback to know if you're saying things right. Getting that immediate confirmation helps you adjust quickly, build correct habits, and pronounce any word with complete confidence. Traditionally, this meant working with an expensive accent coach, but now technology offers some incredible possibilities. With a free account on Pronuncia, you can record yourself up to 15 times every day and get that crucial instant feedback so you can be sure you're saying it right. Check the link in the description if you want to try it out. And that brings us to the final letter, T for transform. So far, we've covered the 4 biggest traps that block most professionals from making real progress with their pronunciation. Not specifying the actual problems, not making sure you can hear the difference, not using your imitation superpower, and practicing without feedback. Honestly, addressing just those 4 things will put you miles ahead of most learners and remove the biggest sources of frustration. But once those blockers are out of the way, how do you actually transform your speech so that clear pronunciation becomes natural and automatic? How do you do it quickly, in just 10 minutes a day? This is where the transformation process comes in. It's not about trying to fix everything at once. It's about focusing intensely on one specific sound or pattern until it's truly mastered. You start with the fundamentals, getting the sound right in isolation, whether it's that TH sound or the R or the J. And you systematically build it up, practicing in simple words, then in short common phrases, then in longer real-world sentences, gradually working towards using it effortlessly in real, spontaneous conversation. The road to mastery is a cycle. Work on the sound that is the biggest barrier to you speaking clear, confident English. Master the basic sound, and then carefully build it back up into your normal speech so you can say it correctly without thinking about it. Then move on to the next sound. And believe it or not, even those sounds you find incredibly difficult right now, maybe that TH sound or the English vowel sounds, can become automatic if you follow this kind of focused step-by-step process. And this systematic process is exactly what my full program, Clear, Confident English for Spanish Professionals, is designed to do. We guide you through this exact transformation journey, sound by sound, step by step. We give you the specific exercises, the targeted practice, and the AI feedback you need to make these changes stick, all structured so you can make significant progress in just 10 minutes a day. If you're ready to truly transform your pronunciation efficiently, you can learn more about the course via the link in the description. So that is the SHIFT method. Specify, hear, imitate, get feedback, and follow a process to transform your English pronunciation. It's the framework that will stop you from wasting years stuck in frustration, will start building real, lasting clarity in your English pronunciation. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.